Hello everybody, so welcome back to this ADHD series. We are now going to go into how I reduced my diagnosis time from 5 to 10 years to 4 months. When I lived in London, I put myself on the waiting list and never received any documentation to fill out in the next year or so of still being there. And then I moved house and it took me quite a while to approach my doctor about it because I was so nervous about approaching the reality of it, because I sort of had accepted that it could really be happening and I wanted to ensure that I just I don't know, was in the right mental place to get the diagnosis, to try the treatment, to be able to help myself. It probably took me about a year into moving here to ask my doctors, and when they put through the referral for me, it was just a phone call with the doctor. I received a letter to my house the next day of a form to fill out of the things I struggled with, and sort of so they could pre-assess me before the actual assessment. A year or two passed, and then I rang up to find out what had been going on with that assessment and with that referral, and they told me that the wait list could be 5 to 10 years. So I decided I couldn't handle it anymore and I was not mentally okay and I really needed some help. So I started talking to some friends that have also either been diagnosed or thinking about being diagnosed, and they mentioned this service called Right to Choose. So I had not heard about this. My doctors didn't tell me about this even though they knew I was really struggling, and I looked it up online. I looked at the different services. My main focus of which provider I was going to pick was that I could get NHS medication provided and not have to pay for prescriptions on a private price, and that the wait list was fairly short. So I picked Harrow Health, and this one was at the time 10 to 12 weeks wait list. So that one was quite appealing to me. I'm pretty sure it's a lot longer now. Editing Rebecca here, I realised I had missed out the portion in between applying to get assessed and ringing up to chase them up. So what I did was I went on to Harrow Health. They have a template that you print off and sign, and then you hand that into your GP. So I handed that into the reception desk. I didn't even have an appointment. And then the receptionist hands it over to the admin team. The admin team will then refer you with the GP. So I chased that up a couple of times, probably should have had an appointment really because it might have been smoother and quicker. However, it still was fine, and I know that my friends did it the same way as well and they managed to get a referral just fine. It just took a couple of extra days of chasing. I think mine might have taken 2 to 3 weeks to get put through, which was frustrating because I was I could have been 2 to 3 weeks into the waitlist already. So when Harrow Health received the referral from my GP, I had a text message with a link to follow to fill out a questionnaire. And this questionnaire I filled out, Rob filled out, and my mum filled out. So they all had their input of different stages of my life, between my own perception and Rob and my mum's perception. Even though this is an adult's referral, I could have technically filled out all of it, but I thought it would make more sense, as I'm not going to remember what I did as a child like my mum would be able to remember by seeing me and how I behaved and how I reacted to stuff. It was quite a long document, but it was easy enough to fill out, and I did that on my computer. And when that was all sent off, I did that in November, and now it is March because that's how long it took for them to get to me. Back to me in the main video and you'll see what happens next. Just a week ago, I rang them up and said I wondered when my referral was going to be, because on my NHS app it said ring by the 23rd of January. And lots of time had passed and I hadn't realised. So I ring them up. I would think I was 18th in the queue. You have to be really patient and stay on that line. No doubt I did 10, 15 other bloody mini tasks in between and got my side quests ticked off, because I can't just do one thing at a time. And I spoke to them and I said I'm also having weekly therapy because things have been very hard for me to manage. So she said she'd put me on a cancellation list, and then by a couple of days later, I had a phone call off them saying, are you available? We've had a cancellation. So within 2 minutes of that, I got a text and a link, and I had a video call with them on their own service. It was very simple to use. So I jumped on a video call with this doctor, and 45 minutes later, he said very nonchalantly, well, yes, you have the hyperactivity and the inattentive symptoms, which would mean combined. presenting ADHD, and my brain is like processing, this is the moment, it's really happening, he's really telling me. But it was like my brain sort of went, wait, what? I've been waiting all these years wondering why nothing made sense, why I didn't fit in, why I struggled with the most mundane things, like ridiculously simple stuff, and it was all making sense. It was like my light bulb moment of whether I even though I told myself when I realized this it could be a thing, that I will accept it and I'll handle it and it would be an answer to some of my problems, most of my problems, but it didn't feel real. It was so relieving and so validating to hear why I struggle, and that it's okay and it's not your fault, that you're built differently and you're neurodivergent in a neurotypical world. I cried so many times on that call and my tears were slowly building because he was saying, so it's this, and then you can have CBT for it, tailored towards it. You can also try medication. We'll try you on methylphenidate. We'll start you on 18 milligrams for 2 weeks, and then we'll up you to 27 milligrams for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll check in with you. And I was just so relieved and thankful that I'm trying not to cry now. But it's been a very hard journey through this whole, just through my life, really. I didn't have friends for the longest time because they were just neurotypical people that didn't want to understand me and just took me at face value and didn't really understand my little quirks as to why and who and what I am. And it's really, really lovely that now I have friends that are the sweetest people, the kindest people. I'm very grateful that it's really, going in the right direction, when for so long I just felt really, really lost. And this has sort of been my thing that I can see is going in the right direction, and my little bit of inspiration and hope, and I feel like I'm on the right path finally. And that being said, I am going to be starting medication, so I'll be starting it tomorrow, and the next video is going to be me explaining how the medicine works, how I feel, and I'll do like almost a vlog to see how the day goes, and we'll see how it goes together. So I hope you've enjoyed part 2 of this ADHD series. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes, and if it helps anybody at all to feel that little bit less alone, then my job is done. I'm so happy for that, because you don't need to feel alone. It's not just you. We're all in this together. And I will see you in the next one. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave a little comment. I want to hear your story too. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah.